Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Purple Eagles Insider. I'm your host, Brittany D'Angelo, and this week we talk with members of the baseball and softball teams here at Niagara University. Our first guest today on Purple Eagles Insider is junior outfielder for the men's baseball team, Tanner Kirwer. Tanner, welcome to Purple Eagles Insider.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So this is your junior season. Talk a little bit about what changes you've seen in the team and your own personal growth.
Coming here my freshman year, our team didn't really focus on the mental part of baseball. And going into my sophomore season, we hired a mental coach named Brian Kane, and he's helped us stay pitch to pitch, stay in the present moment, not worry about the results, and I think that has had a huge impact on our success lately.
Your team started the season against Baylor and then picked up a huge win against nationally ranked Virginia. Right. What is it like to play opponents like that?
It's definitely a huge experience to go and play big teams like that in beautiful baseball parks like that. Although we didn't get the results we wanted against Baylor, I think that it helped us kick things off.
What positives did you take away from playing Virginia?
It was definitely a huge confidence builder beating that team, being a powerhouse in their division. And hopefully we'll be able to bring that into the MAC.
So you guys started conference play last weekend against Manhattan, and you guys went 1-2. What did you guys take away from the games at Manhattan?
We went into Manhattan with a lot of confidence, maybe too much confidence, beating huge teams like Virginia, going in over 500, which we've never done. And I think that what we can take out of that is we can't take teams lightly, even MAC teams.
What would you say you have learned from Manhattan and then you can bring in for the rest of the season?
That we're just going to have to stick to the process, not let losses like that get us down, and we're just going to have to build off things like that.
When you say your team's over 500 this season, how proud does that make you?
I'm ecstatic of it. I mean, I don't think really anyone going into this season thought we'd be going into conference over 500, and I think that brings our team a lot of confidence for the rest of the season.
So baseball opens their home schedule against St. Peter's this Saturday and Sunday. How exciting is it to play at home?
I'm definitely really excited to show the students at Niagara our baseball team and how good we'd be doing. It's also going to make a huge difference not traveling on a bus for 10 hours. Just the grind of that is going to be huge.
So last year, you were named National Hitter of the Week after your outstanding play in Niagara series against St. Peter's. Do you feel any pressure to repeat that performance against St. Peter's this time?
I'm not going to put any added pressure on myself than what I usually do for the weekends. I'm just going to go out there and play the game I want to.
What are you guys expecting for this weekend?
We're going to expect to play good baseball, not be result-based. Coming off a series of Manhattan, we're going to look to build off that, and hopefully it shows in our results.
Thank you so much, Tanner, for coming on Purple Eagles Insider.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up on Purple Eagles Insider, we have Pete Battaglia, freshman first baseman. Pete, welcome to Purple Eagles Insider.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So this is your first year on the team. How are things going so far?
Great. I love it here. The guys are real awesome. They've been very welcoming and helping me transition to college ball. Teammates like Tanner Kirwer and Daniel Procopio have really, taught me the ways, the ropes, and helped me, settle into the place I am today.
What's been your favorite part of being a player on the Niagara baseball team so far?
Just being around the guys in general every day. It's so much fun. Waking up for lifts and practice. It's a grind, playing college baseball every day, and having the relationships with them makes, playing through that grind a lot easier.
So you've gotten into the starting lineup right away. How does it feel to be making such an impact your freshman year?
It feels great to get out there and play every day. It's helped a lot to see pitching every day and college pitching every day especially. And I've learned a lot from watching, the older guys and seeing them, how they approach at-bats and stuff, and, the ups and downs of the season. So I'm learning a lot each and every day, and I'm trying to improve, and I think so far it's been going pretty well. So
I would say the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've earned MAC Rookie of the Week honors. How does it feel to earn that?
Again, it feels real good to be recognized. I'm just trying to focus on getting wins for the team, and, these accolades are nice, but, the main focus is sticking to the process and going out there and winning games, especially conference games.
So you guys started the season at Baylor, picked up a big win against the number 12 Virginia. How did those big matchups prepare you for the rest of the season?
I mean, it's such an experience to go into those stadiums and play in front of those huge crowds, and it made going into games like Manhattan and conference games a little bit easier for me, especially. And going out there and beating Virginia was one of the best baseball experiences of my life so far. it was unbelievable to share it with my teammates and stuff. And I think it really set us up for the success we've been having this year, and we will continue to have hopefully through the rest of the season.
And as you were talking about Manhattan, you guys just faced them.
Yep.
You guys went 1-2 in the series. How did picking up that win feel?
It felt good, especially on day one. You know, the night game at Fordham, and you know, we hit really well that day. I think we put up 10 runs, and although we only went 1-2, I think we learned a lot about ourselves as a team and stuff that we need to work on, especially during this week in practice that we're prepping for St. Peter's this weekend.
So like you said, you guys are going to host St. Peter's this weekend to begin your home schedule. How excited are you to play at home?
I can't wait. I mean, I'm a local guy, so being able to have my family there and friends to come out and support, it's going to be, you know, a great experience. And I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to getting out there.
What are you expecting for the rest of the season?
I mean, I expect to get in the MAC playoffs. I think this team is going to go really far this year. We have a great group of personnel, pitchers like Matt Brash, Daniel Procopio, and, you know, junior outfielder Tanner, and, you know, other guys on the team, Julian, Jeff Cito, all these guys coming back with the experience we have. I think we can really make a good run this year in the MACs.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Pete. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next up on Purple Eagles Insider, we have Dan Procopio, senior pitcher for the men's baseball team. Dan, welcome to Purple Eagles Insider.
Thank you for having me.
So this is your third and final season with the team. What changes have you noticed from your first season to now this season?
My first season, when I came in, we weren't really like a united team. But last year we started gluing the pieces together, and this year I feel like we're just one unit going after one goal.
What differences have you seen in your own personal performance?
Coming in sophomore year, I was really all over the place. Last year I was coming off surgery, so I was still trying to rehab and come back from it. This year I just said, you know, it's my last year, I'm going to have fun. And so far it's been doing pretty good.
So you were named MAC Pitcher of the Week after an impressive outing against LaSalle earlier in the season. What did that recognition mean to you?
It meant a lot. It showed how much hard work pays off. I mean, I didn't really think of it at the time. I just looked at the glove and threw it wherever the catcher called it.
So you guys began conference play against Manhattan last weekend, and there the team won 1 of 3 games. What positives can you take away from the series that you can use for the rest of the season?
Well, I was looking back at our previous seasons. Usually when we lost, it was a blowout. We'd lose like 10-2 or 10-3. But all 3 games were pretty close, pretty tight. We stayed pitch to pitch. So I think we've improved a lot.
What can you say you'll take away from those games to bring into the rest of the season?
Just stay focused. You know what? We could be excellent with the process, excellent with the mental game, but the result doesn't usually go our way, or it doesn't always go our way. So just staying pitch to pitch.
So you guys will host St. Peter's this weekend to begin your home schedule. What's the difference in the atmosphere between a home and away game?
The difference is whenever we're away, everybody is against us. So finally being able to play at home and having people cheer for us instead of against us would be a lot more helpful.
What are you expecting this weekend?
Well, we're going to have 3 good games. Hopefully we come out with a sweep, but you know what? Results aren't everything. It's more like how we play the game and if it's good baseball or not.
What are you expecting for your team for the rest of the season and your own personal season coming up?
Well, since it's my last season, I'm hoping that we make the MAC tournament. We come close to either winning it or winning it. So I'm hoping for big things.
So you guys are co-hosting the MAC tournament with Canisius this year. What does that mean to you?
Well, since it's my last year and we are hosting it, hopefully we make the tournament. Canisius, you know what, they are our rivals, but if we both end up in the MAC tournament, you know what, it'll probably be us 2 at the end, hopefully.
Do you think that this will add any extra pressure to the team this season?
It will definitely add pressure, but with the mental game and staying present, you know, we'll go weekend by weekend, pitch by pitch, and whatever turns out, hopefully it's in our favor.
As you are a senior, I'm going to get a little sentimental on you. What are the best memories you're going to take away from playing at Niagara?
The best memory is probably Florida last year. We went there, we went on a plane ride. It was definitely memorable. We stayed in an apartment complex where rookie major leaguers played. So it was just, everything was amazing.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for coming on Purple Eagles Insider. It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Next up on Purple Eagles Insider is Sarah March, member of the women's softball team. Sarah, welcome to Purple Eagles Insider.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So you're back in game action this weekend for the first time since the tournament at George Washington 2 weeks ago. What has the team been doing in that time to prepare for the upcoming start of the conference season?
A lot of rest, first of all. We had a quick turnaround from Florida and not a lot of time before George Washington, so rest, catching up on homework, making sure our bodies are ready, and of course practicing every day, making sure we're ready to go.
So prior to the Capital Invitational, the team got off to its best 11-game start since 2009 at 7-4. When you hear that, what does that mean to you?
It just means a lot to me because coming through this program, we've gained so much potential, and we're working so hard with each other, and we're just getting so much better. And throughout our 4 years, you can see that it's just gotten so much better, and this program's going to continue to grow.
What did your team learn from this non-conference play that you believe will help you against conference teams?
Our biggest thing is the belief in ourselves, that we found out that we can get the hits and we can score the runs and we can make the plays on defense, and that belief's going to carry us through conference play.
So Sarah, you are a senior on the team. Talk about your leadership role as co-captain of the team and how you've seen the teams change over your 4 years at Niagara.
Yeah, I'm co-captains with Chanel Ward and Bridget Hogan, and they're amazing co-captains. I couldn't be the co-captain I am without them. And just the leadership role, coming up as starting as a freshman, you don't really have much leadership, but being able to lead this team especially is just a great honor because this team's so amazing, and there's really everyone leads themselves, so it's not that hard.
So last season was a breakout year for you. You batted a .345 and led the team in doubles, home runs, and slugging percentage, and runs scored. So what are some keys to your growth individually on the field?
Just a lot of hard work and the support from my teammates, of course. You know, getting in the cage every day at practice and just making sure I'm taking enough cuts and getting all the practice in and just being the best I can be. And with our new coach, last season, Coach Caitlin, she's brought an immense growth to the team in our hitting, and that's a lot of the reason why we're all such better hitters this year.
So in addition to being such a leader on the softball field, you also have a role serving all student athletes at Niagara on the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. What are some of the highlights you're going to take away from being on SAC?
Being on SAC, it just gives you that off-field leadership experience as well. You know, it's all about promoting the student athlete experience, and in the fall I got to go to Florida with all the other SACs from our conference, which was amazing. So I met their representatives from their school. So it was just an amazing leadership experience and something I'll always carry with me.
How excited are you to get into conference play starting on Saturday?
I'm so excited. Iona's always a good game. It's battle of the best out there, and they are always a tough competitor, and we're really ready to come out there and get 2 wins.
So after this season, the softball and baseball facilities at Niagara are going to be renovated. How do you think this will add to the program and help the program move forward?
Well, moving forward, it'll be a lot easier. We'll be able to get outside a lot more in the Western New York weather, you know, get the snow off the field quicker, be more competitive in the conference with the new field and everything. And I just think that it'll enhance also the recruiting process. Having better facilities is obviously a big part of that. And to have this brand new field, people are going to come in and want to play here even more than what they already do.
So I'm going to pull the senior question on you. So you are a senior, you are a co-captain, and you've been on this team for 4 years. What are some of the best memories you'll take away from your time?
Some of the best memories are the little ones, in the hotel and away trips, or being in the house in Florida with everyone, just hanging by the pool in between games, and just the bond you grow with your teammates. And that's really what I'm going to take away.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on Purple Eagles Insider. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining us this week on Purple Eagles Insider. Be sure to come support the baseball team as they host St. Peter's at Bobo Field on Saturday and Sunday at noon. For information on how you can follow along with this weekend's softball action, visit purpleeagles.com. Once again, thank you for watching this week's episode, and we look forward to another exciting edition of Purple Eagles Insider next week.